Okay, people, we should be live. Just have a quick look, make sure you can see me. Okay, people, we should be live. Yeah, so as you can see, I have started. It's early Monday morning, I've started, and it looks like I'm going to get stopped out. It's a part of it, so I'm going to just accept the loss. I'm waiting and seeing what happens. I explained to you what's going on, and I explained to you what's going to happen next after this trade plays out. Let's just turn this volume down. Let's see. We don't need this anymore. Don't need that anymore. So busy morning, Monday morning. My boys were getting ready to go to school and stuff like that. So I had to get them ready. And I saw this trade setup, which is my systematic approach. So this is the problem trading or streaming live. As you see, like a lot of my stuff wasn't set up. The trade came, I took it on my phone. I decided to quickly come and press record here, start streaming so you guys could see it live, because I thought it was a great opportunity to show you guys the live stream. In the live stream, the systematic approach to trading itself. So at one point it was looking good and I thought it was going to hit TP, so I was really gassed. I was really happy that it was going to TP on live. My first trade on live was going to TP, so I had to quickly get things set up, as you saw in the beginning of this video. So I started a 5%ers 20k funded account challenge. So that's the hyper growth challenge. So you pay a certain amount, you get the 20k initial. If you pass the step 1, which is the evaluation stage, you get the actual funded account and you can start making withdrawals as you go, right? So I started that. That's my preferred one. So that's what this is. And you can see, let's just show you. Can I show you? You can see here it's in USDs. Yep. So pay attention to that. 20k USD. I have a second account which I created, is a demo account which is in euros. So if this doesn't work out, I'm going to switch over to the demo account and I'm going to trade through, do some discretionary trades, live stream with you guys, and you can see my approach when taking discretionary trades, and I do that in a safe environment on the demo account. So that's what I'm trying to achieve. So if you didn't see my previous video, I did a quick presentation explaining all of this, and you know and understand what I'm talking about in terms of systematic and discretionary and the two accounts I got and what I'm trying to achieve. So if you haven't seen that, go back and watch that and it will explain everything and it'll give you a little bit more detail about me. Okay, let's talk about this trade. So what I saw here was what I look for on a daily basis with a systematic approach. Okay, hopefully this works. This could still work. You know, this could still work. Fingers crossed. But anyway, with a systematic approach. So I look for a price to go one direction, creating higher highs or lower lows. So in this case, we had a high, a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. But at this point here, it broke that structure. So it pushed up here and it broke this previous lower high, right? It broke it there. So that's when I entered. I placed my stop loss at the low of where it reversed and broke the structure. And I'm basically trying to scout for 10 pips, okay? So normally, depending on the situation, I may go for 1-to-1 or I may go for 10 pips. So in this situation, I decided, as this everything's new, streaming live and all that, let me go for a reduced risk and try and go for a quick win, right? So 10 pips is a quick win for me. So I aim for 10 pips. Now, the reason I was looking at buying this rather than selling this is a few reasons. Now, there's an argument for both, obviously. All the time there's an argument for both, for buying and selling. So down here, we got equal lows. So that's a reason to be selling this, to try and run those equal lows. We are in a downtrend on H1, so I could be selling this. This was the reversal of the Trump news that sent this up. This is the reversal here. As you saw, it consolidated, it broke underneath this lows here, and it is now downtrending. It could continue downtrending, or and get into this zone, or it could hold in this demand here where it is currently and try and push back up, right, and continue its bullish run. We don't know yet. So that's too much of a speculation for me. So what I try to do is focus on price action. That's what I said previously. in my previous video live stream, that I do trade based on supply and demand, but I focus on price action. So supply and demand, this hit a D1 supply zone, reversed it, and it's coming down. So this is a H1, yeah, H1 demand zone, and it's reversed here and it's pushing up. We don't know what's going to happen, so I switched to a low time frame and just focus on price. That's the only thing I could consistently read, right? And making a assumption on where price is going based on what's going on with the price. And I look for certain things. Here's an example. So this was Friday's price action, Monday open, and it gapped down. So when it gaps down, I expect price to fill this zone before it moves off. So Asian session pulled up, filled most of it, and started coming down. And as I said, there's equal lows here, so there's an argument it goes down now, but also there's an argument it could be brought up to fill this zone. So it was a 50-50 trade, like most trades are. I looked at price and I waited. I saw price when it was here, had the option to sell it here, and that was like around an hour before I got into this trade. I wanted to sell it here to aim for 10 pips, and I was shy of it from 2 pips, and it started pushing up. So I'm still happy that I didn't sell from there. I've now saw price broke structure and push up. I bought it, and I was, as I said, I was happy it was moving there. I think I was maybe 3 pips away from TP, you know. Let's have a look. I was about 4 pips away from TP, and price is going against me. Now, in the past, I've seen this and I decided to get out, but also, like I said, this is my systematic approach, something I back tested, and every time I see everything I have explained, I am meant to just sit on my hands, and that's what I'm going to be doing, okay? So I'm just going to leave the trade to play out. If I lose the trade, it's just one of those losses that I know I'm going to take when I take this approach. If I win this trade, it's just one of those wins, and that's my approach. So that's all I'm going to do. We're going to see how this works out, and we're just going to be patient. So if this works out, that's the trade, the only trade I'm taking on this account for today. So what I tend to do, my systematic approach, is take one trade on EURUSD, and if I see my setup, I take one, and that's it. There's usually maybe 3 opportunities. There's Asian session reversal, intraday reversal. This would be the London session intraday reversal. So it's started already. If it holds, it'll be pushing up. And there's usually a New York one. Not all the time all 3 is available. Sometimes none of them are available. Sometimes you just get sideways price action. So we're going to see what happens here. It still looks like I'm going to be stopped out. I'm just going to have to wait. And like I said, if I get stopped out, I'm going to switch over to my discretionary account, and we're going to possibly take a sell. Yeah, we're going to be selling it. So if I get stopped out here, I'm going to switch over to discretionary account, and I'm going to sell this. So I have got some rules in place for my systematic and discretionary, because I'm trading them both at the same time. I want to be fair, right? So right now I'm going to be using a restricted risk. In this trade here, I'm risking about a little bit more than 0.5%, okay? So I'm risking maybe 0.7 or so. I'm going to restrict the quantity of trades I take as well. So if I'm on the discretionary in a given day or trading session, I'll possibly only take 5 trades maximum. Because the systematic approach, I only take 1 trade. And why I'm doing that is, why I'm restricting it, is because I'm trying to trade how I would trade if I was trading solely discretionary, right? And if I'm doing that, I'm not taking 10, 20 trades. You could only be right so many times, and my number is 5, right? That gives me an opportunity to be right 2 times, wrong 2 times, and right once. So I end the day agree, and that's why I leave it at 5. And the discretionary is just 1 trade, and that's it. Okay, so price is still holding in. It breaks this candle, maybe we've got a shot. It could push up again. It breaks this high here, maybe it's pushing up again. Let's have a look at H1 and see what's going on. I focus mainly on 1 pair. It's easier just to focus on 1 pair. The other instrument, if I was to trade something else, would be FTSE. Let's have a look at GU. I'm not doing nothing here. Let's have a look at GU, see what's going on in GU. Maybe it's giving me a similar look, similar price action. Okay, so GU is pushing up. If Euro stays in line with GU as it normally does, it should push up as well. So still got chance to be right on this trade. Let's have a look. So trending down, reversals here, pushes up, gaps down, taps into the demand zone, pushing up. Well, it's not really doing nothing. It's just consolidating. And we are going to see on M5 what it looks like now. Yeah, so it's consolidating and it's broke out the zone, tapped back into it, and now it looks like it pushes up again. Don't know yet. We're gonna see. Yeah, let's see. That's looking good. If this holds and breaks this high here, yeah, that looks like a buy for Euro USD, and hopefully this one holds on. All right, good. Let's have a quick look at what's going on. Make sure I'm still streaming. All right. We are still live. Good. Okay, just hold on there. Hopefully this breaks above, and we are moving towards TP again. It was so close to TP. It was about 10 pips, 4 pips away from TP, and just turned around. Let's see. If you can hear me, let me know in the comments. If you're watching, you can hear me. Just put a 1 in the comments so I know the audio is good, or I have to increase the volume and work on this. All of this is new. All my equipment is new. This is my first time streaming. I do need to learn as I go. So all the feedback is appreciated. So if you can hear me, or if you can hear me clearly, 1 in the comment. If you can't hear me, just put a 2, and I'll know I need to address the mic situation. And I think the visuals are okay. The visuals should be okay. Let me just quickly have a look, see what's going on over here. Okay, London session open. We're about, yeah, we're being stopped out. Great. Terrible start, but it's okay. Let's switch over to the discretionary account. As you can see, there's an opportunity there. Let me just switch over quickly. And we're going to continue on that account. And I'm going to try to use the same risk allocation so it's fair. And I've missed the opportunity. There you go. There was the sell. Let's switch over nonetheless. And it's really going now. Have I missed it completely? Let's zoom out. Yeah, I've missed it. It's just on the move. So we're going to leave it there. We missed the opportunity to sell that. As I said, if it didn't hold, it's a sell, and it was. So like I said, there was potentially it was going to fill this, but it is a downtrend, and I was going against the trend. Even though it did break structure, it held and pushed down, and that was a sell. So basically, with my systematic approach, when the position doesn't hold, it usually goes in the opposite direction and it pushes. And as you see, it pushed a fair bit. Okay. But now we've won liquidity, and we're just starting the 9 o'clock London session just started. There may be an opportunity to buy. Just go hold on for a second, see if there's a buy there. Yeah, there's a buy there. We are going to take a buy. I'm just going to use a 0.5. No, just one standard lot actually. Let's go one standard lot. And we are buying, missed it as well. Give me a second. Let's find this buy. We're going to buy it. See if we can scalp it quickly. Actually, we're going to wait for this candle close and then we'll go buy it. Let it push a little bit further. Let's see, where's it going? Where are you going? There you go. Alright, so it gets down here. I expect it to be bought up and we take a quick buy. It's pushing very aggressively, so it should get there, and if it gets there, it could push up quite quickly. Let's see what happened with GU. Did it hold? No, GU didn't hold either. So near the close of this candle, this M5 candle, I'm going to be buying this. Again, this is on a demo account. This is discretionary account. I am just experimenting with things. None of these are recommendations on how to trade. I will be recording, and if you want to see how it works out and not risk your own funds, just have a watch. Just have a look. See, you don't need to jump into trades because I'm jumping into a trade, okay? So I wanted to sell it from here as it broke, but I didn't switch accounts quick enough, so I would have got the move running those lows, but now I expect it to pull back in, and maybe I should have bought it there, but I'm gonna wait a little bit, wait for the near the close of this candle. Hopefully this closes around here, and then we could buy that. And the reason I'm buying it is because if you look at the trend, it breaks out and pulls in a little bit, breaks out. It could push out a lot further, then come back in like this, or it could just do this, right? So I'm expecting it to do something like this because it's heading down to a demand zone. I expect to buy, and I expect this gap to be filled at some point, but it's not necessarily going to happen, but that's what I would expect based on experience. So a lot of this is just experience now. Getting close to the end of this candle, we are looking for a quick buy now. Alright, go buy that, and I'm going to use a negative risk to reward, so risking 20 pips here to make 10, and if it goes further than that, then that's it. So 82 stop loss, we want it at 62. And the TP is about 92. I'm going to modify that in a second. Okay, so let me just check that's all right. Price is 82. 62.5, that will do. 72.7, that will do. Let's just adjust that a bit. And 2.4. Let's round that down to 10 pips exactly. Okay, so let's see if we could get this quick win. So usually when price breaks out aggressively, it does pull back to fill orders, but also when it's trending down, it breaks out of this zone from this high to this low where it broke. Price does pull back into that zone before it's sold again, and if it's not sold again, it goes up here, pulls in and pushes up. That could be the potential buy. That could be the buy that we wanted, but I expect it to pull back in. As you see, I've taken the trade and it's working out so far. So that's my discretionary approach. That was the win. If I took this on my systematic trade, that would have been a win, and I'll be break even more or less break even, or I'll be about $60 down, but it's okay. I'm okay with that. On this close of this candle, I'm going to be selling this because I expect it to pull up, then push out a little bit, and maybe it continues the trend down, or it could push up again, but it should give us a pull down, and we're going to sell this in a second when this candle comes close to closing as well. And that'll be it. 2 trades on this account and done. So if I'm taking a discretionary approach, this will be the second trade of the day. So if I take a third trade, I will be done. If that's like 3 trades, I'm good, right? I don't really need to push it to 5 unless I felt it's necessary. This account would be slightly down. Next one would be a winning day or even break even. So that would be it. So let's have a look here. This is now pushing down. And I don't know if you guys can see the benefits of this is it eliminates the temptation of revenge trading on your main account. So I'm not telling you guys what to do, but I'm trying this out, and I thought it was a good idea because it gives me an opportunity to take the trades that I want to take, but I know I shouldn't be taking, kind of thing, right? So it gives me an opportunity to experiment with those and see if it works, and if it does, then I could log it and remember that, yeah, this is what happened. In the next time this happens, this is what you could do. So that's what I'm having a look at. We're coming close to the close of this candle. I always keep an eye on the time when I'm trading on the 5-minute candles. It is a part of my trading to focus on that. It does help me take scalps or find my entries as well, based on candle closes, how they close, when they close, and so on. So we're coming close to the end of this, and as you can see, it's pushing down already. So this is what you would call a break and retest, right? It broke, retest, tapped in it, and it's meant to go again. So we're getting ready to sell this again, and we're going to use 1 standard lot, and we're going to do the same thing. Okay, selling that now. And again, you're going to using a negative risk reward. I'm going to risk 20, try to make 10. And that's it. So we are in at 82.2, and I'm going to pop this up by 20 pips. 82, no, 18, that's 12, more or less. And TP 72, 2. Okay. Just check that's right. Two. That's more or less 20 pips. Let's see if we could win this trade and make a decision whether we continue or not. So, a few of you here. So, NAS 100 already. Okay. Yeah, thanks for that. Didn't work out, but you know, just gonna have to continue. Do you know what? I'm not too bothered, to be honest. As you saw, I was only 4 pips away from winning that trade. It didn't work out. It's still part of the process. I will be back here possibly tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll be able to take the systematic trade on live stream, and you'll be able to see a win using it. If not, you know, I'll do a recap when I got the time, but I'll be here streaming tomorrow, possibly at the same time. And FTSE and DAX. Yeah, FTSE and DAX for London session. I may switch over to that after I finish with this trade because I've done enough here, really. I don't need to push it any further, I'll switch over to FTSE. FTSE and DAX is something I've been looking at because of Trader Tom. It does move. It moves in a similar manner to Euro USD. I have been back testing it. I do like FTSE. DAX is a little bit more difficult with the calculations and the pips and so on. I need to get my head around it. It's just so much more numbers. You know, my eyes are trained to do the to do the Euro USD quickly, but not the DAX, right? I have actually got a new tool. Maybe I could use that. It's a position sizer, something I downloaded just last night, and I might use that. So this looks like another win. I'm doing really great on the discretionary account right now. I may move to break even. No, I'm gonna reduce the risk. Normally I don't do it, but you know, makes sense to manage the trade. Well, it's a win already, so there's no point. So that's another win using the discretionary approach. And yeah, it hasn't filled the wind yet. That's weird. Price is moving really fast, so maybe it's going to drop down considerably. That's interesting. Should have closed the position. Did I? Yeah, I sold it there. Okay, hit TP and it didn't close. All right. Okay, there you go. It's closed now. All right, so it's moving really fast. It didn't fill me, but it's filled me now. So that's 2 wins on the discretionary approach. Makes sense. The buy was risky, but again, it's a break and retest. Makes sense. And the sell continuation makes sense because we are in a downtrend. I'm not mad at it. I just took an opportunity using this systematic approach. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and that's it, okay? So let's switch over to FTSE, have a look, see if I would have fared any better having a look on the FTSE. And new charts. Actually, I can't. Let me switch over to... So on the demo account, I can't actually trade discretionary on the FTSE. It hasn't got indexes. So I'm going to switch over to my personal account and we're going to have a look at the FTSE and see what's going on there. I may be tempted to take a trade. Hopefully I'm not and I don't break any rules. This is where you guys, you know, kick in. You guys step in. Remind me that I said I'm not taking any other trades on my real account. I am solely taking that one trade and done. So let's have a look. How can I find this instrument? Let's see. I still don't know how to navigate this. I normally trade off my phone. Could get rid of that. File, new, charts. No, navigate. View, navigate. Market watch. There you go. All right, boom. All right. Okay, so approaching this, I see a gap. Maybe it wants to come fill, but what we tend to do, or what I tend to do, is zoom out. So have a look on the higher time frame and see what's going on here. So let's see, market open around there. So trending up, FTSE trending up. Yeah, it's been trending up for a while. I remember back testing when it was down here. It's in a massive supply zone. Maybe it holds there and sells down again. That will be my initial thoughts, that it's going to be sold here. Okay. But again, all of this news was because of what happened with the catalyst because of Trump. So there is an argument that that's over now. Okay. It's kind of important to be in the know what's going on in the news. You don't need to know exactly everything because sometimes news doesn't play out as you would expect it to. So I do trade based on price action rather than fundamentals. Okay, so but it's important to know what's going on in the world. So we have liquidity above here, so this could hold and continue pushing to beat these highs here. There's a lot of people that sold here. Maybe people got in when it got here. People trade supply and demand, swing traders. When it got in here, they saw this breaking structure, higher highs here. So higher lows here, higher highs, then broke here, and they're entering anywhere around there, hoping to sell this to go back down. There's a strong argument for that. There's a gap here, and there's this trend here. So there's liquidity here. So there's a strong argument for selling, and there's an argument for buying to run these highs because, you know, the news catalyst is over. So again, that's the bigger picture. I'm gonna go to a smaller time frame, have a look. Actually, before I do that, just have a look on H1 and see. Okay, so there's an argument to have bought from this point here. Would have been somewhat risky because price wasn't really doing nothing. It was consolidating and it broke this high. It's pushed up. Maybe it's just to run these highs. This could reverse and starts coming down. I may trade this. This looks quite interesting to trade. I'm going to switch on M5 and have a look. All right, give me a second. Let me take into account what's going on. So we had the break, and it looks like a break and retest. A lot of people are going to be looking to buy this, right? So I'm going to sit on the fence a little bit and see what's going on. So break, retest, looking to go long there, right? That's what most people will be doing. I'm going to just wait and see. It's a reasonable argument to do that. It's making more sense, but it's just this gap here I do not like. When I see gaps like that, I expect this to come down here, flag like it's continuing, then push underneath. If it gets underneath here, then we are looking potentially to sell it. But I'll say this. Let me have a quick look at H1 again. Yeah, I'll say this. A buyer looks more likely now. And a buyer from here is what I would prefer. So selling this right now, if I'm using my discretionary account, selling this to try and get down to this zone is probably what I'll be doing. Break and retest, yeah, you would have bought here and you expected it to go up. It's possible, but I would expect it to go down further and potentially be bought here. It may get a few points and it could go down here. The truth is, and this is what I look at, where are the stop losses right now? After this, everyone, most retail traders will place a stop loss potentially under here or here, right? So for me, I don't know. It's just too risky. It's not something I back tested, this price action. Break and retest, yes, it works. How often, I don't know. It's not what I back tested. So I would like to see what's going on. If anything, what I would do is wait. I would just wait. I would wait for price to, if it's going up, I would wait for it to go above here and then reverse and start coming back down to fill this and potentially fill this. That's what I would do. Okay. So if I'm looking to sell this, I'm waiting. If I'm looking to buy this, there's an argument to, you could have got in there. Let me just have a look at H1 again. Yeah, there's a strong argument you could have bought this from this high here when you broke this high here because it's broke structure. So you had the lower lows here. It pushes up here, consolidates, comes down, pretends like it's going on, and it broke structure. So there's an argument to buy it here and continue pushing up to run these highs. And yeah, it's a strong argument. Maybe it does that this week. Maybe it does that today. EURUSD is moving a lot today. I don't know why. I checked news already. There was nothing in the news. It's just continuing its trend. And the trend was to continue going down because of the reversal that we saw in the higher time frame. Let's go back to EURUSD, see what's going on. Okay, let's clear up these charts. I need my charts naked. There you go. So yeah, so this is just selling off, makes sense. In this demand zone, as I said, if it gets here, this is potentially a buy. I initially, or back in the days, what I would have done, I would aggressively got in here and expect a pullback, and that's what I would have done. So let's have a look if that is a possibility there, if it's reacting. Yeah, it's a possibility there. There's a buy there to potentially come back up to fill this gap here. I am very tempted. I am very tempted. I said I don't want to take any more trades today. I said I wanted to stick to the systematic approach for this account. And today is going to be about discipline. I'm not going to start bad habits on my first day. I'm going to try to be disciplined all through the week. So if anything, I may switch over to the discretionary account. Yeah, I'm going to switch over to the discretionary account, see if I'm going to buy this. Yes, that makes sense. That will stop me from taking this trade. That will stop me from taking this trade on my main account, my challenge account. So let's switch back over here, and we are buying this. And we are using a negative risk reward ratio of 2-1. So we're in at 45. We're going to risk 20 pips. 45. We're going to go 20 pips. One sec. 45. Where's my mask gone? 45, 25. And we're trying to get 55. Now, this is very risky because price is pushing against you. It's pushing strong against you. But I believe because there's no news today and it's heading towards somewhere, I believe this is where it's heading towards. The better thing will be wait to the close of the hour candle, H1 candle, and look for a proper buy in there. But again, this is a discretionary account, and I am using a negative risk reward ratio. I could take the drawdown, and hopefully it doesn't stop me out. And if it does, it is what it is. Discretionary account, I can play around with it a little bit. I could take some risk without worrying that I'm losing money. Now, to be honest, where I would want the stop loss should be here. Okay, that's where I want it. But because I use a certain amount of risk, I'm not gonna use like, what is this? I'm not gonna use a massive stop loss like this. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. The reason I say it should be there is because in anywhere in here, sometime this week, if not today, we could expect a reversal. So if it doesn't happen, doesn't happen. But if I was to buy this, if I'm a swing trader, it consolidated here, broke from here. So it's coming back to the zone it broke from. If it gets in this zone and starts doing this, I'm looking to go long and potentially continue this uptrend. That's where I would expect it to be bought from to continue the uptrend if I'm swing trading. So my low should be at the bottom. So the same way, if you see my videos, I talked about pole and flag, right? This is the pole, this is the flag. Underneath here is where the low you want to respect if it's continuing this pole and flag formation. So this is a pole and this is a flag. So if it flags back in here and starts reversing, it could continue and run these highs. We don't know what we don't know what's going to happen for the year, right? And if it holds and if it's going to be bullish for the year, it could hold here and go long from here. But like I said, too much speculation. I'm not a swing trader. I am scalping. I am using a risk to reward ratio that I can control. So this can't be here. Okay. The only way it could be there if I'm using a lower amount of risk, a low amount of volume, and I'm not doing that. I'm going to only risk what I said I was going to risk, which was 20 pips. And if I get stopped out, so be it. Let's zoom back in. Let's get this back on 20. 20 would be a 2-1. I could go a 3-1 and give myself a chance of winning this trade. Yeah, let's go 3-1. So 20. Take that down. Okay. Risking 40, so we want this roughly there. Yeah. So this will be a 3-to-1. Risking 3, trying to make 1. Okay. And we're gonna hold this trade and see if it works out. When I learned how to trade supply and demand, I was told you could go as far as a 4-to-1. Okay, that's what was recommended, or that's what was used by the person who taught me, which was not taught me directly. I watched a webinar from the CEO of the 5%ers, and that's what I observed. He used a negative risk to reward ratio on a higher time frame like this. As I was explaining, he said there's 3 entries possibly when you got this higher time frame. You're doing a swing trade or a scalp based on a higher time frame. The open, the decision point, and I can't remember this was a long time ago, and this low here as well. Okay, so the open is there, price has just entered there, getting in there, and then using a 4-to-1, he would have it down here and he'll hold it and potentially get that move back. But I'm gonna do a 3-to-1, see how that works out. It looks like it's not working out. Price is very aggressive today, even though there's no news. Yep, that's not holding. That's not holding. Yep, that's fine. Too aggressive. I should have waited. Moving it now. Could move it. Not going to do that. Just going to take the loss. Don't want this discretionary account to go and get destroyed on the first day. But hopefully this is illustrating a point. I could take risks using the discretionary account, try different things. If it works, great. Note it down. If it doesn't work, remember not to do it again, right? So this isn't risking my real funds. This is on the discretionary account, and I could afford to do this. So if it does, if I do get stopped out, which very likely to happen now, should have waited for the H1, waited for this hour candle to close and bought it from there. If I do get stopped out, that's fine. I'm done for the day with the discretionary. I think I've taken 3 trades on this, and that might be it for the discretionary account. Actually, don't want to destroy it. And what I'm trying to do in the long run, stream for about a month and then see which was the best approach. And that's the main thing I'm trying to achieve here. So all of this is well and dandy and stuff like that, trying different things. But at the end of the day, I want to see if my decisions I made on the discretionary account would have made me more profitable or would have put me in bad decisions. So I still need to trade it with some kind of accountability. So I'm not just going to move the stop loss however I feel, because I can't trade like that consistently. This is what I said. I gave it a 3-to-1. It should have held for 2-to-1. Didn't do that. Didn't get no reaction. I'm doing 3-to-1 now. If I get stopped out, I'm going to get stopped out and leave it. I do have one more trade on the discretionary, and we're going to be patient and look for the setup. And yeah, and then that will be the last trade for the day. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Just check my comments while this is playing out. So this looks like it's gonna be stopped out, but let's be patient and wait. And I might switch back, have a look at the FTSE and see what's going on over there. Okay, so okay. So it looks like there was a news catalyst today. Thank you, the Whip in post, for highlighting that. There wasn't any major news scheduled, but it looks like there was a news catalyst today, which would explain why price has been so aggressive. And yeah, not much we could do about it. I checked the news forecast. There was nothing due today, nothing major, but there was something going on that wasn't scheduled. Let's switch back over to, actually, This is holding. I wanted to have a look at the DAX. We'll come back to this. Let's switch over to my other account, have a look at the DAX and see what's going on with the price action and on the FTSE. Yeah. That could be more interesting right now. So we are, yeah. So FTSE is still not moving. Okay, so it's pushing down again. So that could be the buy. If I'm buying the FTSE, I could buy this for a quick reaction. But remember, stop losses are there, right? As soon as this comes in here, what it may do, it could come down here slowly, print like a 5-minute sell candle here, then print a 5-minute buy candle here, triggering a lot of people to enter in there to go long. They place their stop losses underneath there, the stop losses underneath here as well. Then it could push and run the liquidity there and aim for this gap here. That could happen. Okay, so if that happens exactly as I say it is, I would want to take that trade on my discretionary account for the FTSE, but because it's limited what I could do with this demo account on the FTSE, I won't be able to do that. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on this. I'm going to have a look at DAX. Apparently there's a lot going on there. Market watch. DAX. Okay, so it looks very similar to what's going on in the FTSE. Let's get this back up. Chart window. Clean this up. All right. Organize my space a little bit. Okay. So I'm assuming you were bullish on DAX and on the breakout. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I would say be careful with that. There's if you're in on the DAX, be careful with that. Manage your risk, because I could definitely see this coming back down to fill into this. It may pull back down, then push up again, or it may just go down, get underneath it, and you got this massive gap here that it may fill. It probably will fill it. Question of when. You know, I would assume this gap will get filled at some point. Let's see what the DAX has been doing the last few days. Okay, so it's bullish trend. Can see why you bought that. I'm hoping it works out for you. Hopefully it keeps pushing higher. Let's see where it's going. Okay, so it's at all-time highs right now. Well, not all-time highs, recent highs. Yeah, I mean, last few years it's quite high. So definitely manage your risk, because this is very high. I would expect a selling opportunity at some point. And yeah, very risky trade for me. Breaking retest, I get it, but it's really high and you got this massive gap here. So definitely manage your risk accordingly. Where was we? We were on EURUSD. Let's see if we held in that trade. Where is it sitting at? 23, got in roughly there. Still holding. Yeah, I think we're still holding on that EURUSD one. Okay. What was TP for that? I got in at about 45, no? So I was aiming for 55. It's not looking good. But yeah, there's a strong argument. If it holds, If it doesn't stop me out, it could pull to fill this gap. So whether it does it now or it does it on the next H1 hour session, we don't know yet. But I definitely could see a potential of it pulling back, doing a little reversal, pulling back to tap into there. And the reason for that is because price usually pushes out, pulls back. We know that, right? But it also gives people opportunities to enter the market. Most people would want it to pull back to enter there. So that's why I bought it, for it to push back up, and then sellers could continue this downtrend. However, if this pulls up and pushes out again here, that's the downtrend continued. So that's the risk I'm taking with that negative risk to reward ratio. I think with a negative risk reward ratio of 4-1, I will definitely get the trade, but it's just too much risk on the account that I just started, and I'm not going to do that. If I use a smaller amount, yeah, maybe, but it's not worth the risk. That's why I moved away from using high risk, using negative risk to reward ratios. It's just not worth it. It's just a slow grind. You can win a lot of trades, but it's a really slow grind. I'm not saying it's not profitable. I'm just saying I can make more money quicker if I reduce my risk to reward, taking more losses. But when I win, I'm gonna make more money quicker. So that's why I switched to a negative 2-1, and also I do a 1-1. I did this 3-1 because I wanted to see if it works on the discretionary account, but on my personal account, on my other account here, my challenge account, I wouldn't be doing that. Let's hold this and see. Let's see what DAX is saying now. So it's not moving. That would concern me. If it was bullish, pushed out, come back in aggressive, go again, I would be a little bit concerned that's moving so slowly here. Don't want to cast doubt into your mind. If you believe in what you're doing, definitely do it. Hold your trade. It's just the price action I'm used to seeing. I would expect it to come down further. So again, for this, if it is going to be bought up, come down, maybe around here to be bought up. So let's just mark that out. I'd expect it to be bought up around here. It seems like that news catalyst has died down now. Price is moving slow again as expected. It is Monday morning. Don't expect much. Very difficult to trade Monday mornings because the price action you get lacks volume, and then the information you read could be difficult. Okay, so today I lacked volume. If I had volume, I should have got that first trade as a win there. Okay, if I had volume, it could have pushed up all the way to get that move, but it just didn't happen, and I took the loss. If I sold it, like I said, because normally what I back tested again, take the setup to buy it. I'm going against the trend. I'm aware of that. So if it goes underneath and breaks this low, I reverse and sell it now with the trend, and I would have made all of this. I would have ended up break even today. I decided not to take the trade. I missed the opportunity because I wasn't able to switch over to the accounts quick enough, and I also said I wasn't going to take that trade. So it is what it is. Tomorrow's a new day, man. I'm just gonna be patient and wait till tomorrow now. Something to look forward to. Being disciplined is hard. It is hard, but there's a lot of benefits for it. For instance, now if I tell myself I'm not gonna take a trade today, tomorrow I'm gonna be excited to take a trade. Okay, I'm not gonna go in gun ho, just start jumping in anything. I'm gonna wait and be patient and look forward to taking a trade tomorrow. So I'm approaching the market with a positive sense, with positive energy, and I think that's important. If I took another trade today and it didn't work out, and I end the day really low, tomorrow I'm gonna come back with a negative approach. I'm gonna be full of emotions, mainly fear, and I don't want that in my trading. So as you can see, I'm somewhat relaxed. I've taken my loss. I've taken it on the chin, and I'm gonna be back tomorrow ready to go again, looking for that win. I like that. holding on to this this discretionary trade. Let's switch over that. No, I would like to see what's going on here on DAX. Let's see what's going on here. So as I said, it's looking risky with this move here. If I was to do anything, I would have sold that maybe, try to get down to the zone for a quick scalp. But like I said, it's really high, massive gap. I'm more inclined to be waiting for a sell for this. So price for me to sell this, what do I want to see? Let's go to H1 quickly. I want to see it come back and break this low. Okay. If it broke this low, I'll be selling there, looking for a high to place my stop loss and try to get it to fill some of this gap. That's what I'll be doing with the DAX. And as you can see, it's heading towards it. It could head here, come in, push up again. But what I expect to happen, considering we've got the gap and it's at a high, I would expect for it to come here, pull up, then break down. Okay, so the pull up here is, now if you trade supply and demand, or you've done any research on supply and demand scalping, most of the influencers will tell you when you get this big drive up, wait for price to return. When it breaks the previous M5 candle, then you buy for it to go up. Okay, does that work? Yes, it works. How often it works, I don't know, and we can't find out because the people who are telling us it works never show us consistent proof. Okay, so we can't trust that. So if you back tested it yourself, which I have in the past, I've been able to get maybe a 60% win rate. Okay, so that's not good enough for me, and that's why I don't always trade that. So the reason I mentioned that is when that happens, it's almost common knowledge now. Most people trade that way. When that happens, people buy it there, leave their stop loss underneath here somewhere. And for me, that is, okay, potentially liquidity. I know that's happening. I'm only 3 years in. Imagine someone who's been trading for years. The institutions, the market makers, they know that's happening. So there's an argument that they are deliberately creating the liquidity, knowing you're going to place your stop loss there, knowing you're going to place your stop loss there, and then they're going to run the liquidity. That's the way I look at it. So that's why I stepped away from that setup. I don't trade that setup. It's just too risky. And then take into account what I said with this massive gap here. I could definitely see that happen. There's liquidity all underneath here. If that comes here, does that, goes down, that's a scalp potentially. You want your stop loss here, massive stop loss. So maybe you look for that when this pulls up here and breaks it here, your stop loss could be there and continue it to fill this gap. That's what I'll be looking for. Break and retest. That was the break of here. Hasn't really retested that zone again, has it? If you caught it on the break, great. You made that move, great. Break and retest, it should be pulling into here and people could be going long from there, right? It could pull in further and it's going to do the setup I told you, print the M5 break of this previous candle to trigger people to go long as well. It could work. Not saying it doesn't work, it can work, but it doesn't work often enough for me. So we're going to wait and see how that turns out. FTSE's doing it, okay? So FTSE is doing it. So it's pushed all the way down into the zone again. So that was a break. That should be a retest. It should have went there, but it's pushed all the way back down into this zone. Yeah. Now, if I wanted to buy it, yes, there's an argument. Could have got it there, but I told you, like I said, I don't trust this gap. Price tends to fill gaps. So what I'm expecting to see now is expecting this to hold, maybe push down and run this low, or in the next candle, it's gonna print and break this high that is created here, and then that will trigger people to go long. It may go up a little bit, then eventually come down. That's what I expect to see, which is more or less the same thing on the DAX. So switching to Euro USD. Okay, so I think I would have lost that trade. Yeah, I think I've lost that trade on Euro USD. So I'm done trading for today. Discretionary account done, and my systematic approach done. But as you can see on the systematic approach, I've taken one trade, lost only one trade today. I've read so many different opportunities, and this is what happens. If you are trading discretionary, taking that approach, you're taking multiple trades. I don't know how you are doing, but it's difficult to win every single trade. It's difficult to be right once, let alone 5 times, let alone 10 times. The more trades you take, the more opportunities for you to be wrong. More opportunities for you to be right as well, but it's difficult. It's difficult. Trading is difficult. Okay, so the reality of trading is you're more likely to lose. Statistics back this up. So I'm happy, even though I've taken this loss, I've only taken one real loss on my challenge account. Tomorrow is a new day, and we're going to go from there. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. So discretionary account, I'm pretty sure I got stopped out now. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, so on the discretionary account, we are down about 200 euros. Remember, this is euros, the other one's dollars. So we are down 200 euros, and we're going to switch back over. So we're done trading for the day today. It was a good trade there, better trade there. Holding it with the trend makes sense. I tried something new there, risky, it didn't hold up. I still expect it to pull back up, people. It's just a case of when the entry here is wrong, basically. I still expect it to pull back up, just a case of when. I did say closer to the end of this hour, you could expect some kind of pullback, major pullback before it goes down again, or it does a reversal and tries to fill some of these gaps. That's what I would expect on Euro USD. Am I tempted to buy it? I am tempted, but I'm going to be disciplined today. First day, I'm going to try to start it right. First day streaming live, I'm going to try to start it right. Okay, so let's go back to my account, my real account here, and let's see how we did. So we are only down 170, so more or less the same, and we're going to leave it there, and we're going to start again tomorrow. Same approach tomorrow. Going to be patient, wait for the candle. Hopefully we've got more volume because it's not Monday, and that would be great. Okay, start that DAX. Let me wait for another setup. So yeah, it made sense. Have a look at DAX again. Let's go DAX. DAX is too chill. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it started aggressively, the DAX, didn't it? It pushed up high, then it just stopped. That didn't make sense for a break and retest. You want to see it go straight away. You don't want to see it slowly climb back down. And that's why I said I'm not too sure if I want to enter the DAX trade for a break and retest or a continuation of the trend, right? And it was at real highs. So yeah, tight stop loss, made a buffer this morning on that. So not very good. Good. Glad to see you manage your risk well, and you've taken your loss. And yeah, keep going, man. Keep going. Just remember not to overtrade. Okay, try not to overtrade. Going to fill the gap now. Okay, let's switch over to FTSE. Apparently, it's moving like, yeah. So as I said, FTSE's pushed past. It's got underneath there. Now, if any advice I could pass on to you guys based on my experience is this: try to consider where other people are placing their stop loss. And if you feel like it's a place that everyone's doing the same trade, I'll be skeptical, okay? Because if you could identify like This is a break and retest. Breaks and it's coming back down. People are looking to buy this to continue. It's the initial reaction, right? And they're placing a stop loss where? They're placing a stop loss here. So this pulling back down, take the stop loss, makes sense. It makes sense. It could now then pull back up here and sell again to fill this gap. Like I said, be careful with these gaps. Or it could just get in this gap a little bit and then start pushing up again and continue the higher time frame trend. So that could happen. So if any advice I could give you guys, always consider your position, and if it's a obvious place where you got in, where you place your stop loss, if it's an obvious place to place a stop loss. We all tend to do the same thing, swing highs, swing lows, so it's usually obvious. But when you got a big warning sign like this gap here, maybe if you're going to still take the trade, if you still want to take the trade, reduce your risk, okay? The only thing that we are in control of, or the only things we are in control of, is our emotions and our risk management. The rest of it is the market. We are up against so many different factors. We are up against misinformation from influencers, prop firms, dodgy prop firms, not all of them. I trade with 5%ers. They've been good to me. They've never done anything dodgy. All my payouts have been on time and quick. I've seen prop firms who've disappeared. I've known prop firms who don't pay people, pay money out and stuff like that. I've heard so many stories. So we're up against some prop firms, and we are up against the market makers, and we are up against smart money. There's so many things against us, retail traders. So the only thing we can control is our risk. Understand, if you take a systematic approach, you backtested everything, you got your numbers, you just need to apply it with discipline and risk management and just be patient. That's it, right? It requires a lot of patience and a lot of discipline, and most people haven't got that, and that's why most people fail. The people who get to that stage where they can control both and be patient, especially be patient and discipline, and discipline and patience. If you could do both, you can actually make a living off trading. I believe so. Okay. I am in the process, and everything you see now, everything I'm doing now is working towards that process. All the experiments, going live here, experimental with these things, I'm working towards that process. This is my way of logging everything I'm doing so I can recap it, building my knowledge in a safe environment. And then as I start progressing, that's when I don't know, you may not see me anymore. I doubt it. I'm going to be streaming if I have a large account. I'll figure it out. When we get to that stage, I'll figure it out. I just don't want to expose myself financially on the internet, basically. Don't want everyone knowing my business. But yeah, so that made sense that this breaks that's an easy read. It's coming close to the candle, the hourly candle close. So I would expect after it's filled most of this, maybe it starts going like this and it pulls up, because this is a big gap. It could pull up to fill this again and then continue down, if not up, right? It's 50-50. It's always the case, but too early to say, basically, is my point. Swing traders, like I said, expecting a sell here. Yeah, could definitely happen. Still looking good. It's holding. Yeah, there's a lot of liquidity here. It's broke structure already. It's started creating lower lows, lower highs here. It did break it again, but it looks like it's filling this gap. It just tapped in to get into this price point again. And that's the thing. We don't know what price to do. We don't know where it's going in terms of where it's going to be sold from. So there could be a price point that the big institutions or banks stuff are looking for, grabbing that price point, running some liquidity in the mean run, and then pushing down, right? It could be doing that. We don't know. So it's all speculation. And if we treat it as that, we know we need to manage our risk. That's the only thing we could do. There you go. So that's a bit annoying, right? Getting these reads right? I anticipated this running this low. Like I said, there was a potential buy, but I'm more inclined to sell because it's at a real high and this massive gap, and there's liquidity there. Okay, so I would expect it to continue going down, getting underneath the Asian lows, and maybe after it fills this gap, it could then potentially go back up and start pushing up again. Maybe. Okay, so again, speculation. I'm not gonna live in the realm of speculation too much. But yeah, stop losses made sense. FTSE made sense. Yeah. Okay. So now Euro USD is slowing down, coming close to that hour mark that I mentioned. It is in a higher time frame demand, coming close to that hour mark, and it's looking like it wants to break structure. So if it does break structure here, so we've got lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. If it does break structure here, a buyer could be to take out there. I am very tempted for that. That's the trade I will be looking for now. Okay, so we've got a little trend. Let me have a look, see if I could be tempted. Well, I already said I'm not going to do it, so that's out there. I'm not going to change my mind. Yeah, I am quite tempted. Look, I mean, as you can see, the trend breaks out, reversal, pulls in, taps back in, breaks out, reversal, pulls in, back, taps back in, breaks out, reversal, pulls in, breaks out, pull back in straight away, equal lows, breaks out. I can expect some kind of reversal here and maybe pulls back in eventually to get to this point. Yeah, I can see that, but at what point, I don't know. Like I said, higher time frame here, it could be here, could do all this and then pull back in and continue up, maybe. We don't know. So tomorrow, we may see that today. I don't think much is going to happen more today. This is a lot of price action for Monday. We'll see what happens. Let's go back to DAX. Yeah, there you go. DAX, after it's run liquidity now, maybe breaks this candle and starts pushing up. But no, I'm still not inclined to buy that. I don't trust this gap. I to be honest, if anything, I wouldn't touch this market right now. Okay, it lacks clear direction. There's arguments to buy and sell. It's a bit of a mess, and it's a Monday, so it might just be choppy. I'm not getting involved. Not even on the discretionary account. I'm not even getting involved on that. Euro USD, there's no moves left. The main move was that my potential reversal don't hold up. I could have sold it. I would have got that. That was the main move on Euro USD today. There may be something in the New York session. That I'm going to be trading New York session. And DAX, yeah, breakout was hard to catch. Break and retest, very difficult to catch. Coming down here, running people's stop loss, it's hard to enter that as well. I don't know. Maybe there's a buy when it breaks this high here. Let's have a look at this. I'm interested in this. Coming close to the hour mark. Breaks this high. Maybe there's a buy there. But that's big speculation, right? That's big speculation. I wouldn't even trade this on my discretionary account. So again, not recommendation. I'm just theories right now. Main theory is it fills this gap. After filling that gap, then I can see it coming to fill this gap. All this imbalance that it created here, I can see that happening. And that's why I say maybe there's a reason for it to come up here before continuing going down, or it could go down, reverse here, and come up here again before going up. Don't know. It's too much speculation, but that's what I expect to happen. Thank you for everyone who's joined the stream. Appreciate you all. I know there's some of you who are watching. Appreciate you guys. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. I'm getting ready to wrap this up, to be honest. It's been fun. It was a bit hectic this morning. As you saw, if you watched from the beginning of the stream, I wasn't ready. I was actually preparing breakfast for my kids. Saw my setup, which I tend to happen just before London session. Entered the trade, and as I was in the trade, I thought, do you know what? I could just start the stream, even though I wasn't set up ready. Let me start the stream so you could potentially see the live session and see my systematic approach live, but it didn't work out. You still got to see it. So my first trade of the live session series, and it was a loss. And yeah, we're going to keep it going like that. I mean, as transparent as possible. I do have some tools that I need to set up. I got a new position sizer. I am trying to work with a certain risk allocation and all that. And that's probably something I'll do later on in the day. Get that all ready tomorrow, and you'll probably see that tomorrow. So this position sizer, so that will give me a bit more consistency when I'm taking the trades and stuff like that. Where is it? Oops. What account am I on? Make sure I don't accidentally get into a trade. Let me switch over to my... No. Alright. 1 second. Let me get my position sizer out so I can show you guys. There we go. Okay. So this is something new I'm working with. I'm still learning my way around it. So if I wanted to take a trade here, I could go long, pop in my take profit, stop loss, but the main thing is my risk. So for instance, I said on the DAX there's too many numbers. I don't really trade DAX because I'm not used to it. But now I could just type in my risk, and that's what I focus on, right? I want to risk, say, what's the difference here? About, I want to risk, say, $200, right? I type in, actually, no, I want to risk 0.5 of my account balance. Type in 0.5. It tells me I am going to be risking $100, which is 0.5 on my account. And it tells me the position size I need to take this long. And that's it. So it's something new I'm working with. I'm going to play around with it today. I'm going to use the rest of the day just to be better prepared for tomorrow. And that's it. That's no more trading for me today. I'm going to go and do other things. And there's not much going on the price action now, London session. I'm sure I'm not the only one that got caught out today from the price action. It's quite difficult to trade. And what I'm going to do is call it a day. Okay, so like I said, if I had waited for, so that's that last trade on my discretionary account. If I had waited for this this H1 candle close, I could have tried caught it in the last 5-minute candle, which would have been, which would have been here. If I caught it anywhere there and I use a negative risk to reward ratio going for 10, that's what I should have done. That's what I should have done. So note to self, H1 candle, pay attention to the H1 candle basically. So I trade on a shorter time frame, M5, but do pay attention to H1. I don't know why, it's just what's working. I backtested a few times. I noticed a correlation between the two. So I could have got potentially the 10 pips from here. So 10 pips, if I entered around there, just there, potentially. Use it a negative risk reward ratio. As you can see, I'm not asking a lot. If I'm risking about 20 pips for a price just to get there, that's a high probability it's going to do that. And that's why I use a negative risk reward ratio at times. Very simple move. Could have made 0.5 on the count just from there. Okay. So next time, Patrick, Wait for the H1 candle close. If anything, I've learned today, be more patient, especially when I'm taking the discretionary trades, right? Yeah, normally I'm gonna aim to start on market open. Okay. So the way it works is I get my kids ready for school and send them out. Um, they leave like 30 minutes or 20 minutes before market open. If I'm taking a trade on my discretionary account, I'm waiting for market open. If I'm taking a trade on my systematic account, systematic approach, I'm taking a trade whenever the opportunity presents. So it could be before market open, it could be after market open, and I'm trying to take it before the New York session. So that's there's no guarantees, and that's why I've got the two accounts, because I can't guarantee when I'm gonna be on, except for on the discretionary account. So the discretionary account, I'm gonna be market open, and that might be like 10-15 minutes before, because I get my kids out maybe quarter two or quarter 22, and then I switch on to the live stream. Maybe I throw up the stream before, and you just watch the charts in the background. I need to figure all that out, but yeah, basically market open London session. I'm gonna do that, find some consistency in doing that, and maybe I consider doing New York session as well, because I could scalp. I mean, I didn't show you my best scalping today. I didn't get in well I should have today, but when I get in my bag, especially when there's high volume in New York session, I can make money. Well, I could also lose money, but I can read most of the trades right. I just need to learn how to manage my risk, and I'll be profitable doing a discretionary approach. That's why I'm putting that in. I'm testing this theory. I've seen it. I've done it a few times. I want to see if I could do it consistently. So I could trade New York session, but for now, I'm going to start the stream, just London session, and build up from there as I learn. Make sure everything's right. Make sure the audio's right, the visuals are right, everything. And then I experiment with some more things, okay? So let's have a look. All right, so okay. So trade show, have a look at that, see what that's about. So yeah, it looks like the China and American tariff war is still going on, and that's why like the last few trading days, maybe a week or so, my setup hasn't been looking great, right? For 1-to-1. So what I recently been doing was 1-to-1, because it was just so consistent and I was making a good return from it. But what then happened, I started noticing that I wasn't getting the 1-to-1, but I was getting a 2-to-1. So it's expected. There's factors in the market that we can't control, and we just need to learn how to adapt to it. And my way of adapting to the market conditions is to ask for less. I still want to trade, but reduce my risk and ask for less. And that's asking for my less is asking for 10 pips, risking 20 pips. So that's my risk to reward ratio. I back tested this on EURUSD a lot. More than 7 months worth of back testing, and it's seen different market conditions through the year. Nothing extreme as what happened with Trump, but I'm still good for it. I'm still going to continue it, and I'm probably try to do more back testing, try to see what happened with COVID in 2020, see if I could have traded that consistently with the uncertainty in the market as well. And that will build my confidence, knowing that my setup, I'm ready to adapt to the situation. So there are factors in the market we can't control. There's factors in the market we don't see, and that's it. We just have to be patient. We just have to be patient. When we see the setup that we do understand, we could work off that. Okay, so I think we're gonna call it. That's all really I got for you guys today. The little scalp here probably holds. Yeah, it's gonna hold. Pushes up here to get the 10 pips. I can see that. Let's see what happened with DAX. So DAX is aiming to fill that. Okay, so I was right about that. And FTSE, I was right about that as well. So those were the trades. The best trade for EURUSD obviously was a sell. I was trying to, just a quick recap, I was trying to buy it here as it broke the structure, but it went and stopped me out. Being stopped out there, I had the option to sell it, which is something I back tested, and I would have left my high here where it didn't reach TP, where it reversed on me and took me out. I would have left my high there, but I decided for this first stream just to take the one trade on the systematic approach and be patient. So in the future, you may see me do that. But for now, I'm just going to try and keep it plain and simple. I want to keep my charts and my statistics clean because I really want to come back, have a look and see what works. Okay. So hopefully people, you've appreciated this. If you have, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can only see when I'm streaming live if you are subscribed. I do not send out any Discords alerts or anything like that. You can only find me on YouTube. So if you want to see me trade live, hit the subscribe button and you could see how this works out. This experiment, my discretionary versus my systematic approach, which is the better approach, and you can see the mistakes I've made. Hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and you can see when I make the right call, and hopefully you can learn from them as well. Okay, so I'm going to sign out. This is Patrick signing out. On to next time. Peace.